He's the head coach, Ole Miss. He's Hugh Freeze. Busy day for you, Coach. We appreciate you taking some time. How you feeling?
Oh, just wonderful, elated. It's very rewarding to see all the work over the last year that has been done by our staff and building these relationships, come through today. And that's just been a kind of hopefully a program changer day. Obviously, time will tell, but we certainly hope so.
Some people looking at Ole Miss and saying, how is Ole Miss getting these kids? It's not surprised that SEC schools getting that, but you took to Twitter and fired back. I was a little bit surprised at it, but I like that you did. You're saying, hey, come on out, put your name behind this. Why did you do it in the first place?
Well, we're running the program with integrity. And, if there's things that are out there that people know about, I want to know. I know that our staff is doing it the right way, and certainly not at all saying that I just want to know. If they have something, bring it. But if they're going to just make random accusations that have no basis, you get frustrated and tired by that, of course, because it's sort of what our society has evolved to, which is disappointing. We had a plan, we executed that plan, and we did it with integrity. And what they don't look at is the natural tie-ins that we had, and I'm not foolish enough to believe we would be sitting here if we didn't have those. But the people that make those random accusations, they also obviously do they know that Kim Beachie's brother is playing here, and the family is huge to them, and Laquan Treadwell's best friend plays here. And, those two have been recruiting behind the scenes for us, the Laramie Tunsil's of the world. And, of course, we got Tony Connor right down the road, which we normally get. And then most of the four-star guys we have are right around here locally, in our normal recruiting areas. And I think our year-long approach to recruiting those was obviously very effective. So, I've heard of all of that, and when you have success, some of your competitors, they'll do anything to get in the way of that. People think they know what our ceiling is, but, that's not defined by those outside of Ole Miss, and it's defined by us, and frankly, we're not there yet. But, it's I guess it's the way of the world, and we'll face that head on also.
But, Coach, it's brutal out there when it comes to recruiting. 11th hour, coaches trying to steal other players, and it's pretty cutthroat. Did you deal with that with this recruiting period?
We did. 3 schools in particular. I have great respect for all the schools we go against, and don't think that our coaches ever even talk about other schools. They better not. That's not our plan. That's not the way we're going about it. And I think it actually worked in our favor in a few instances where families just got tired of the negativity. And, I don't think it's a large portion of schools that do that, but we did certainly experience some pretty brutal attacks in the last 48 hours from several schools. And it's unfortunate. I think it's sad for our sport when coaches decide that that's the route that they'll take. I understand the pressure that's involved in this sport, and I understand the emotions that get involved, but I don't think it has to be that way.
Well, give me an idea, if you don't want to name names with schools, but tell me what goes on there in the 11th hour where they're trying to steal the recruit. What's said or done?
Well, all of a sudden we start, let's say we're trying to land an offensive tackle, and all of a sudden we get reported on other message boards that we have sent offers to these other tackles out there, making it appear that we're not sincere with the one we really want, and there's total fabrication. We haven't sent papers to anyone else, and you fight to correct those reports, and certainly with all the things that are swirling around our success in recruiting, you get people to make up their own stories and try to relay those of that they've heard this and they've heard that, and they think this and they think that, and none of which has any truth to it. So it's definitely not part of the sport I enjoy.
Well, it's got to be difficult because it's tough enough to go up against LSU and Georgia and Alabama on the football field, but then to try to recruit against those guys and the other schools in the SEC, and then you factor in the other schools around the country as well. pretty brutal competition there.
Yeah, there's certainly there's no one that is bad at recruiting in this conference, and you mentioned LSU and Alabama have great relationships with those staffs and have great respect for them, and I think they both do it the right way, and most in our conference do, and it's just but it is brutal. I mean, you're competing hard for these kids, and you get emotionally tied up in it. And around the country, it's the same way with every staff. So, it's the least enjoyable part of this job is these last 48 hours. They're not very enjoyable, but I'm real proud of our staff and the job they did to build these relationships with these families.
Well, congrats. I know going to a bowl game, that's big, and I know it's a pretty tough road there in the SEC, but great recruiting class, and now it's up to you to coach them. So thanks for joining us, Coach.
No, thank you for having me. And, another thing I'd like to point out is the same media that vote the Grove the number one tailgate experience in America, and Oxford the safest college town in America and the most beautiful. Obviously, there's a lot that we have to sell once we get them on campus. So those same people hopefully will recognize that we have a good product to sell here if we can get them here and convince them to buy into our new vision of doing something new and fresh instead of just helping someone else continue in what they've already done.
Well, the key is that those are the second and third things that they bring up. It's Mississippi football, and then you could talk about the atmosphere there and the safe campus. You know that's where you got to get football to move up a little bit there, Coach.
We're on our way.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, Hugh Freeze, Ole Miss head coach.